go ahead. No problem.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar on how to build your cloud with Proact. My name is Carsten Egeberg, and I'm here to take you through, on behalf of Proact Nordics, take you through the seminar today, the webinar today. First of all, speakers, I will take you through a very, very brief introduction to who Proact as a group is. Paul Bates would run a larger part of the actual presentation. Paul's background is he's responsible for our cloud offerings on a group level. And last but not least, Mads Albertson will support us in any questions that will occur, and we will take those questions at the end of the session. Before we go off, I encourage everybody to use the chat function or the raise your hand function, and we will pick everything up and try to get your questions answered at the end of the presentation. So, quite briefly on myself, I'm running Denmark for Proact. I've been here for 7.5 years. The Proact group, as it is today, has been operating for more than 22 years, delivering a variety of data center cloud solutions. We are located now in 15 countries, mainly in Europe, but recently just added the US to our territory. We are delivering on-premise solutions as well as cloud-based services and everything from private over hybrid to public cloud, and thereby utilizing a combination of our customers' data center, our own data centers, as well as the public data centers. This way, we built a company to serve more than 3,500 customers across territories, and act mainly as a trusted advisor based on the fact that a majority of our employees are highly skilled engineers and architects, like Mads, you're gonna ask questions to today, and we're implementing business-oriented solutions to solve for profit and the development that our customers need across borders. Our biggest growth focus is today's topic, actually, delivering the infrastructure as a service, building the cloud, wherever you are on that journey. So with those words, I would like to hand over to Paul Bates, and again, encourage you to use the raise hand function of any question you have, so we can do our best to wrap that up at the end of the presentation. So, Paul, over to you.
Introduction and how we can help and guide our clients to actually realize the benefits of cloud. So, to start, what we're actually seeing, there is, I would say there's a very well-established definition for infrastructure as a service or as a service model. However, we are seeing a lot of confusion in the market. If I ask 10 people what infrastructure as a service means to them, I'll probably get several different answers. So, I mean, a few questions just really to set the scene. So, I mean, for us, is infrastructure as a service a private platform delivered out of your own data center or out of a co-location data center? Does it sit in a public cloud such as Azure or AWS or VMware? Do you host with what I would class a traditional service provider who offers you a more local, high-quality service? Or is it a combination of all three of those, where you may have web applications with one provider, but on-premise, disaster recovery as a service from another provider? We then need to think about the management model as well. So who manages the assets and where are the touch points? Do you out-task certain items? Do you provide management up to the hypervisor? Does a third party provide management up to the hypervisor or the operating system, or actually manage the application itself? And what does the financial model look like? Some items CapEx? Do you have some items on lease? Or do you have some items that are delivered truly as a service using cloud or utility-based economic models, such as a cost per server, a cost per VM? We're actually now starting to see a new term being used quite frequently, which is IT as a service, which basically encapsulates all of this. So it is infrastructure as a service, but we'd also term it as IT as a service. So why are our clients considering this fundamental change in the way that they deliver IT services? So there's a number of business drivers that our clients' own organizations are putting them under pressure for. perception is key. That our clients' board members are actually seeing the cloud hype, the cloud marketing, and they're expecting IT not to deliver on the technology available, but to deliver on the marketing itself. Everybody's under a lot of pressure to reduce cost and reduce complexity. So reducing costs, looking at the total cost of ownership of a platform versus what you're doing today. But also, as environments are getting more complex, how do we maintain that skills gap is not getting any wider? A lot of our clients have also been pushed to look at reducing risk and risk management by looking at the cloud, and this is really key to a lot of our clients, where we're finding customers are looking to de-scope and share responsibility for certain components. So a great example, one of our clients stores credit card information, so they need to comply with the payment card industry, the PCI certification. So what they've done is de-scope PCI as much as possible and push that within a Proact data center. So we host their PCI, so it's Proact who bears most of the responsibility for audit. So we're seeing that shared risk model really being uptaken by a lot of our clients just to solve their business problems. We're also seeing the focus. A lot of our clients now need to use technology to differentiate. So we're seeing a lot of senior IT people engaged in client pitches themselves. So to differentiate, we need to ensure that our clients have the capacity and resource and the platform functionality to drive innovation. So really, basically freeing up resource and managing infrastructure, managing routine tasks, and driving that business innovation forward. So to deliver against a lot of these drivers, we're hearing common questions being asked within IT and within the boardroom itself. What we're actually seeing is IT or infrastructure as a service not just being used to deliver the way that clients deliver IT infrastructure, but also an opportunity to make really positive business change. So operationally, we've seen a lot of questions such as how do I control my data? I mean, if information is your most valuable asset, how do we ensure that this data is protected? If customers are moving to cloud, are they taking their existing applications, or are they looking at cloud-native applications? Are people looking at adoption of a DevOps model? And questions such as, can the infrastructure platform actually support a true DevOps model? And do people need a local touch? Do they need a local service delivery function? Or, is a low-value, low-touch offshore service actually what is suitable for a certain proportion of the applications? So we're seeing a lot of customers really looking for a partner who understands your own business model and your own operational practices and becomes an extension of your IT virtual team. The business then are focusing on as I mentioned on a previous slide, how can we use IT to innovate? We see that most organizations do spend around 80% of their operational tasks and operational time just keeping the lights on. Will the infrastructure as a service platform that is chosen actually deliver positive change by freeing up this resource? We're also seeing organizations really focus on whether or not they can free up capital expenditure and actually, so some organizations prefer CapEx spikes and prefer actually owning an asset, or do we really want to move towards a more predictable operating cost model? We had one client who, one of the main drivers for moving to an infrastructure as a service platform was to free CapEx up because they wanted to go on an acquisition trail themselves to buy other organizations. So, at Pro, we believe that one size does not fit all. There is not one perfect cloud model. And we see that one of our key strengths is helping a client determine not the right cloud, but the right strategy for cloud. And we're helping customers deliver the most optimal technical, but also the most optimal commercial model. And basically doing both is absolutely fundamental to what we do. So, to deliver on this, we've seen customers really adopt a hybrid service model. So it's looking at what components can we take on, what options for cloud can we take on, and for what type of applications. So, I mean, the different hybrid models could vary per application. It could vary over time as well. So, again, we have examples of customers whose IT, being quite frank, was in a mess, and they weren't ready for cloud. So we had to take several steps over a course of years to move them from on-premise CapEx to on-premise infrastructure as a service, gradually move them to an enterprise cloud, and we're now looking at public cloud for core components of their infrastructure. That wasn't a change that we could make overnight because we needed to take the business and the IT team with us. So we can look at hybrid for different applications, or it can be a longer-term transition process. So how do we get our clients? How do we assist our clients in getting to the right infrastructure service model or models? So we have a very mature and established business cloud alignment and cloud readiness assessment that helps our clients understand what is possible, but also what's achievable for them as a business. So in doing this, we help our clients review the business and IT goals and looking at how IT and the business are aligned. We understand and really need to understand your IT environment and your IT services, and part of that will be looking at the interdependencies of things like the dependencies of systems. So we need to ensure any services that we're moving, if we move one application and not the other, it could have an impact, maybe due to things like latency. So this is quite an involved and comprehensive service, and it's not just a technology assessment. So, and that is really crucial, that when we're doing this type of assessment, some of the fundamental things that we're examining and exploring are things like risk. So do we understand your risk from a security perspective, an IT security perspective, but also do we understand risk from a legislation perspective? What can we move to the cloud? What can't we move to the cloud? How do for example, if you're a law firm, do you have written into your contracts that you can't move your data outside country or even outside one of your own buildings? Cost is key. We will make sure you do understand the true total cost of ownership of any service. We will engage the business and really get them to understand. Any IT professional knows that the business expects not 3 nines, 4 nines, or 5 nines, just they're expecting 6, 7, 8 nines availability. But that they actually really understand the technical difference, but more importantly, the cost difference between delivering 3 nines versus 5 nines. As part of the TCO model, but also look at, is the total cost of ownership accurate? We've got a client who moved from their own infrastructure to a public cloud infrastructure to save cost. Their initial bill in pounds was £15,000 per month, and over a 6-month period, that bill shot up on a monthly basis to £80,000 because the cost models didn't represent the true cost of the service. But also crucially, they didn't put cost controls in place. We also need to look at things like organizational readiness. Is your business, is your IT team actually ready to adopt an infrastructure as a service in a cloud model? That could be across operational teams, financial teams, and procurement teams. And also, do we understand the impact that an operational change and a service delivery change will have on the IT personnel? So all of these things need to be factored in and considered. And finally, architectural fit. Does the cloud provider actually, even though it could stack up commercially, do your applications actually support and integrate with the architectural platforms that are available to you? So, as a small look ahead, where do we see this market going? So the largest change that we're seeing in the market is a rapid maturity in automation and orchestration. It's an area that we've very, very heavily invested in ourselves, and that's not just for delivering services to our clients. It's also looking at how can we adopt better, how can we better adopt orchestration and automation for our own managed services and our own internal IT services. We've basically created over 500 workflows for our clients basically delivering services within a client data center, or as I mentioned a second ago, within our own data center and our own services. And these 500 workflows aren't just focused on delivering IT services, such as creating a new VM or creating a new server. They can be used to deliver things like booking a new meeting room, a new starter creation, which will set up all the IT systems, but also automate with procurement systems to order things like new laptops, new desks, or provision other services. So automation and orchestration will dramatically change the way that IT services are being delivered, but also have a positive impact on business process as well. We're also seeing a big change in things like service arbitration as well, where we've helped clients build private instances of AWS. So this looks like AWS, but we've built a large AWS platform for our clients with over 100,000 VMs running. This platform is also federated with it for bursting into AWS. So we're investing an awful lot of time and resource into looking at arbitration and aggregation models that can deliver a single platform for multiple clouds, be that private in your building, into a private data center, into a third-party data center, into a public cloud, or even into a software as a service stack. And the key thing with these previous two slides is that we're delivering, and we have this capability today. The adoption of the technology in its own right is becoming more mature, and the business is seeing the value in the adoption. This is quite new, and this is stuff that is available. I'm also seeing the next step slowly coming over the horizon, which is being able to deliver the right cloud for the right application based on business rules. And that will be fluid and flexible, where a service or a server or a service may automatically move from one platform to another platform based on cost models or risk models. And those will, as I mentioned, those will be business decisions rather than IT decisions. But it's making sure that the IT and infrastructure as a service platform underneath can support that change. I'm also seeing a big shift in the maturity of software-defined platforms. So that almost is getting back to talking about technology. But fundamentally, why do I view that as important? Software-defined platforms are going to be one of the key enablers in delivering flexible services, but just as importantly, flexible commercial models for our clients. So this is going to drive down that initial cost, initial outlay of infrastructure as a service, and allow much more flexible pricing models for Proact and for our clients. So we've been on quite a journey ourselves. We've been hard at work innovating for our own services. We've been competing in a very competitive market, and we have learned a significant amount over the past several years. So what lessons have we learned? The first is data for me, and is critical. Data is strategic. My view is keep your data close. So keep your data, this is where the true hybrid model comes into play. Keep your data center within your own grasp or within a trusted service provider, and use other services in partnership with that. So strategically keep your data close to you. SLAs is something that I discuss with clients frequently. Not all SLAs are equal. So when you are looking at services that are SLA driven and SLA measured, make sure you're paying very, very close attention. I'm seeing things like other service providers offering 100% availability SLAs. Those SLAs could be based on something like a ping test. So basically, if a server responds to a ping, they've met their SLA. No service may be actually running on that platform. So if it's an Exchange service, Exchange could have crashed, but the server is available. That means they've met their SLA. So you need to be very, very careful with how SLAs are measured. Which then leads me on to the contracts. So contracts are absolutely key and critical when you're looking at any service. We've seen a lot of providers offering no penalty clauses or no breach clauses, that if they miss their targets or they miss their SLAs, you're still not allowed to exit. You need to ensure that exit is very, very clear and very well defined. So what happens in the event of contractual breach? Who pays for the exit? If you wish to exit for convenience, what is the cost and the process of exiting you off that platform? So that is crucial. automation and orchestration is absolutely fundamental to any platform that you're looking to move forward with. This is where you will see the true benefits of infrastructure as a service. So it's crucial that when you are looking at a platform for infrastructure as a service, even within your own organization on a CapEx model, automation and orchestration is fundamentally what you need to be exploring as a priority as part of this project. Predictable cost models. Cost models, for me, need to be very, very clear, very well thought out, and nothing hidden. As I mentioned before, we had one client moving from £15,000 to £80,000 a month, and a lot of that was down to ingress and egress charges. These can land you with a very, very heavy bill. Cost control models are also incredibly crucial. Also, make sure expectations are set well in a business. What we found is building a relationship with a new service provider does take time. Expect mistakes to happen because they will, and this is common across every service provider I've ever worked at and my clients have worked with. If we're integrating two teams and two processes does take time, and it does take time to get right. So make sure you're well invested in making that relationship work. And make sure any partner that you're working with innovates. It's all well and good us talking about helping you innovate from a technology point of view, but you need to make sure that any partner you have also is responsible for innovation. How are they going to change your service over a period of time? We deploy things like, we have a CSI team, a continuous service improvement team, and a dedicated innovation team as part of our business, making sure that we're doing exactly this. And my view is if we're not helping a client innovate across the period of their contract, then they shouldn't renew with us at the end of that 3 or 4 year period. So, in short, it's Proact's goal to help really and truly help our clients on this journey to delivering a best-of-breed and hybrid infrastructure as a service model. And it's crucial that this model fits both your business and your IT goals. It's crucial that you understand, what components and what services are right for you. So you need flexibility on location, flexibility on a management model, flexibility on whether it's you manage, we manage, or it's a co-management model. And you also need flexibility and clarity on a commercial model, whether or not that's CapEx, OpEx as a lease, or OpEx as a true cloud-based economic platform. In short, hopefully that gives you a very, very brief, I'm conscious that this presentation is quite a short presentation to give you an introduction as to what Proact do and what we deliver. So at this point, it'd be great to invite, if we've got any questions at all on this presentation.
Hi, I've just had a look at the questions and I'll read some of them aloud. Okay. The first one is, how do I get started and engage with you guys? So what is my logical next step from here? Okay. Being honest, this really depends on the requirement. Clearly, for me, a next step would be for Proact to come and have a conversation with you about what are your business goals and IT goals. And these could be quite straightforward, that we can help design a service straight on the back of that, or we could engage and look at this business cloud alignment service that we have, which is a quite a short fixed price engagement. That would really look at then creating a roadmap for you then to move forward and understand what cloud models are right for you, create a business case and total cost of ownership model, and really give you a roadmap for success. So for me, in short, it's let's sit down, have a conversation, and look at the best model to move that forward. Hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, I hope so too. The next question is, can I just place a few of my servers in Proact's cloud, or do I have to move my entire environment into your cloud? Or what are the customer's options here, Paul? Okay, we've got we have clients who own their own assets, and we deliver managed services out of their own buildings. We have kit on the Apple campus that we're remotely managing, so we can deliver management models for customers on their own assets. We can deliver cloud services for our clients within their own building.
I mentioned in one of the earlier slides that we see a model of outtasking. So we have, I mentioned a client with PCI. So they just took a very discrete PCI platform, which is probably less than 20 servers, and they've moved that into a Proact cloud. They host all their other applications within their own data center. So this can be really, really flexible. It could just be DR as a service for 5 or 6 servers. So we can really be flexible on what we deliver and where, and what does the management framework look like. So CapEx or OpEx, you manage, we manage, co-manage, or any location. I mean, we can deliver a service against any of those models, and it could just be one server if that was appropriate.
Okay. And then there's a final question, which I'm sure a lot of people would like to know, is how is the pricing done? What is the pricing model actually based on? Can you help us with that?
Yeah, there's 2 bits we can answer there. So if it was a business cloud alignment consultancy package, that's quite a straightforward scoped package that's based on a number of applications. So that's a very low cost model. From a cloud model, so I'm not sure which bit to answer, whether it's around the business cloud alignment or the infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service really varies depending on the model that's employed. So if it was within a Proact data center, we make sure everything is very, very predictable. Our pricing model is based on things like VRAM, number of servers, and storage, and there's no hidden costs. Clearly, there's different cloud models if we're looking at a true hybrid where we're bursting in and out of things like Azure because we're more dictated to by the public cloud providers there. But from our model, very, very simple, very predictable. If we don't do that, then I mean, it's fundamental to our clients. If they want a predictable cost model, our costs need to be simple and predictable. So hopefully that, I mean, it's very difficult to give examples of pricing unless we knew the scope, but hopefully that gives you a view into the commercial model itself.
Okay, but that at the moment that concludes the questions. So no further questions from our attendees. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good, that turns it over to me. First of all, thank you for your time this morning. We really hope this was helpful. On the microsites you see, you probably visited them already to attend here, but on those microsites you can have ebooks, video, there are contact information, white papers and everything like that. So please visit the sites and download whatever you need, and we encourage you to engage with us and contact us for deep dive in some of the questions and answers to that Paul was trying to cover here. Thank you very much this morning.